give it a share.
So my sound's alright.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Sunday evening bank holiday special. I hope everybody's enjoyed the glorious weather that we've had today and the bank holiday. And I imagine amongst the community there'll be a few sore heads this afternoon. I am delighted to say that I'm joined by Mr. Mourinho. Evening, Tato.
Evening, fellas, and it's live.
It's live, yes. So we were going to do this sort of early in the week, but life happened, so we pushed it back a little bit. So we just thought we'd take this opportunity while the Super League's been moved back to tomorrow for a bank holiday shenanigans to do a little bit of a stream. So a couple of things really. Firstly, we're going to get hopefully the finale of the Blinkhorn 1000 challenge, but more importantly, an opportunity for me to interview Tato, and get his thoughts on his latest project. So, Tato, congratulations on being appointed Aster Athletic manager. How's it feel?
Thank you very much. Yeah, very good. Yeah, honoured to be a part of a very select league of high quality players.
It's great to have you on board. Firstly, I think the right thing to do would be to have a word on the gentleman you have taken over from. So Alf has obviously decided that now's the time for him to move away from the Super League for family reasons and whatever else. But what a legend of the community, Tato.
I mean, I've only been around for a year. I keep mentioning to everybody whenever they listen. But he's someone that when I talk about the little community I'm in and the league and stuff like that, I say there's actually a fella who's involved who's 76 years old. And I was like, what the fucking hell? Show a picture to my wife the other day. She's absolutely loving it. The fact that he's still doing it at that age, mixing it with the young guns, we're not that young anymore, but it's absolutely class. I mean, it's actually stuff of legends. And his way, his style, but his way about him that he's got, he's an absolute gentleman. The way he does his saves, his little reveals, all that stuff is so unique to him. And it's going to be a big miss now that he's not involved.
No, yeah, absolutely. Just sort of echo your comments. Ever since I've been involved, he's been obviously ever so friendly. He will offer advice. He'll chat. Just been through days where you just sit and listen to his stories about his scouting days and his champ manager experience and all this sort of stuff. So, real shame to see Alf go, but look, I'm sure he will be in and around the community for some time yet. So, all the best to Alf. So then, on to tonight. We've Tato, Steve's just in the comments saying you're a bit echoey.
Well, that is obviously. Oh, fuck's sake, it's you, that. It's yours, that, Scott.
I don't think it is, mate.
It is, it's always on your stream. I've done about 700 streams since I've done yours. I got bored tonight from my missus because I've done so many. They're all fine. Well, you can do one, everyone, and nothing I can do.
So what I'm going to do is, I am going to just, while we chat, I'm just going to play away in the background, and as we approach
just do it.
The finale, we'll talk a little bit about Blinkhorn and the save and the journey as we approach the finale. But for now, let's have a chat about Aster. So, upon your appointment, what's your initial thoughts of the squad and the group?
Overall, I like it. I do quite like the squad. I've got a lot of players that I'm a fan of. They weren't necessarily in the first team, in and around the first team when I took over, but they are now. They've got a very, very good core. They're missing in some massive positions, like what I think I've set up to play narrow. I think he did. I think he built his squad to play narrow, and as the season progressed, he sort of moved to a couple of wingers, and he got a few wins under his belt. But in general, the squad very, very good down the middle, defensive mid, even attacking central mid really. But then out wide, which is key, we're a bit light.
Okay. And what have you made to the start that Alf's made this season with the squad that he's had at his disposal?
I think he's been, I've said it throughout the year, I think he's been overachieving with his, how he's been this year. The fact that he was top of the league for a week or a couple of hours, whatever it was, half an hour, is pretty amazing really. He had Shearer on a storming run, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he had Solskjaer banging as well, things like that, and players that, similar to Breezy, I guess, players that not many people could get a tune out of, but he is managing to do it. I think his business this season, at the start of the season, was very, very good, because he massively improved Brian Hoffland and started playing Kaluzny, so he needed those two. So I remember his squad last year was very old.
Yeah, for sure. Kaluzny's definitely been a big player this season. Solid in terms of performances, average ratings, and all that sort of stuff. I think last season he was a little bit inconsistent in and out of the team, and I think Alfie's always worried about a red card. I know that Kaluzny does like a yellow, so I think that might have been sort of playing on Alf's mind a little bit last season as to why he was in and out.
Yeah, everyone was shouting to him to bring him in when he has a set on comms, and he's ever since he did it, it's he turned it around a bit, and his average ratings is nearly 8 solid, so that's class.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's massive for me. He's a regen, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He is a regen. He's pretty good, but to be honest, because I've got the guys that have been quite loyal to, I haven't really played him that much. Although most of his 13 England caps did come in the 2 years that I managed England.
Nice.
So next on the agenda for Aster is I was going to ask you to touch on the goalkeeping situation, which has been, let's say, an issue this season.
That's Paul Scholes, by the way, that dude.
Is it?
Yeah. You might not play centre mid.
So yeah, the Aster goalkeeping situation.
The old rotation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be rotating. I said on comms as well. I quite like the idea. I do find it quite interesting. It probably would work. It probably has been working, but it's not something that I'm confident in, or I don't particularly rate the group of goalkeepers that we've got down massively. So Peruzzi I'm a fan of. I think he's good. Given I do actually like, but I think that's more my 3 or 4 days creeping in, because I hear he's absolutely terrible on this one.
Yeah.
But I've got Dudek as well, but he's not getting a game for obvious reasons. So Peruzzi will be my main man, I think.
You touched on 03-04, and obviously that's where most of your champ experiences come from. When did you actually start playing 01-02?
Last March.
So just over a year.
Yeah, end of March.
And why did you decide to switch from sort of what you know? Just because you saw the popularity of the game, or you wanted something different?
I think it was because I saw I could have it on Android. I hadn't actually played 03-04 for about 6 months prior to starting 01-02.
Yeah.
I just sort of had a break from it, because obviously after 20 years, especially when you've not got the community that 01-02's got, like just solely playing bashing one game for 20 years without anyone to actually really discuss it with in the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
You have the breaks. So I haven't actually played 03-04, and I've seen that you can get 01-02 on Android. So I thought, brilliant, I've just got an Android phone. I'll get that set up, and then obviously I've seen everything that was going on. wanted to get involved. It's class.
Right, yeah, it's really good. And actually, I think the community within 0102 has been absolutely booming since sort of lockdown started. So probably around the time that you probably started playing, actually.
Thank you.
I think. I think a lot of the guys similarly to yourself, sort of, I probably noticed that they can still get this game. People still play it, and actually there is a community of people that talk about it and interact. And ever since then, that it's grown massively.
The updates and things that they're offering as well. It's just because I was screaming out to try a few of those football managers recently. You're just screaming out for someone to just make a simple fucking management game. Simple, updated players, decent, that's enjoyable to pass. You can fly through seasons, and obviously this one provides that with the updates if you're into that.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm original database for this now, but I don't have years to play anything different most of the time. But the fact you've got the option is class. Just to fly through seasons like you can't do on the new ones is a major selling point.
Yeah, and the introduction or creation of the starter kit as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. Of course. And all the patches and things, just to personalise the play.
Yeah.
The gameplay is it's not something you get on any of the other challenges at all. I know 97, 98's got a club following, and there's a few things going on with that.
Yeah.
But that's a very long time ago, 97, 98.
Yeah, that's actually the first game that I remember playing. I mean, on PC / desktop. Apart from like your Premier Managers and stuff on your Sega Mega Drives and Master System and PlayStation and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, same way. But I never really played it on 1-2. I dealt with it for a couple of months back, literally 1-2, and then after that I didn't touch it. So yeah, it's been a good year. Really enjoyed it.
So back to I'm gonna do a sign that. So back to Aster then. You've made some changes within the squad in terms of bringing some players up from the reserves.
Yes.
So what have you done there?
I brought up Foe was one massive I wanted to bring up. Been crying out to bring him up. Brought in Simon Davis just for some width. I'm not a huge fan of it. I've seen him decent a few times, but just for the width basically to get an actual winger in. Guardiola's been brought up for DMC cover and centre mid cover. Brought up Guilla as well because I've looked at his stats and he's not bad. He's a good player in our team. And of course, I brought in Adolfo. He's one of those players that's always intriguing as to whether he can actually do anything in the Super League.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, look, his stats is crap, whatever. But if there's a small chance he can do, a fifth what Collins does, or anyone like that, then he's worth having in the squad. So I'm going to give him a go, see if he does it. If he can do anything in the season, he can stick around. If not, it's no harm, is it?
No, I completely agree. That was sort of the next question, but you sort of answered it in that. Do you think he can replicate the sort of form that you get from the more unknown players?
The most successful teams have that mix, don't they, of the stars, your favourites, and a couple of maverick players in there that people go, why is he playing in, what's he doing there? But he is class on the game. People cry him all the time. And if you bought him for Real Madrid in the first season, for example, he'd play very, very well for Real Madrid, and he'd get goals, he'd get assists in the first division. Same as David Collins would, Nicky Franco, people like that. So whether he can do it after sitting for 18 months in the reserves, I don't know. But I like him. I think it's quite interesting to talk about wild card. Something different, obviously, just in case he can do something. Because the strikers I'm struggling with at the moment with us. They're not my style of strikers.
So that's Blinkhorn off the mark for the stream. Once we get to this game, I'll just have a look at his history and see how close we are. I think we're about 20 goals away. So I'm hoping we're in early February that this will be wrapped up by the end of this season. I was just looking at Adolfo. I actually signed Adolfo the very first season of this save, just for one season. And then I sold him to Hearts, or released him or whatever, and he scored against me in about 6 consecutive games. So Blinkhorn is currently on 35 in 34 games this season. Last season was the least prolific in terms of goals to game ratio, but not quite his lowest goal scoring season. There was one in the 40s a while back, and we're at a grand total of 982. So we need 18 more goals to get to 1,000.
What's going to happen? Steve's just saying, yeah, he thinks Adolfo's worth a shot. I know people like Martin are probably being hitting Adolfo, and others will say it's never going to work, is it? But, you know what? If one of the alternatives are, I don't know, William Solskjaer or, God, I don't know, Rocky Fowler.
Yeah, for sure.
Ivan Zamorano. No, not for me. It's not my type of player.
No, I completely agree. And look, you know, I've been involved. I think this is my 3rd season now, and even in those few seasons, I've seen players come into the league that either aren't household names or are players that some people like and others don't think are quite good enough. And I know that there's a history of that happening before as well. So you're absolutely right. It's definitely worth a shot.
Yeah, I've got rid of a few players that again aren't my style player. I've got rid of Romagnoli. I hear he can be quite good, but at the moment he's not. Janacheda, he's never going to get a game.
Yeah, I think
he's defensive in this game.
Yeah, I think Janacheda played a lot last season, and that was sort of when folk were saying, "Well, hang on, why is Kaluzny not getting a game if Janacheda's playing?"
Remember Duff and Kaluzny were playing there.
Yeah,
Janacheda was playing. I looked at him. He's not something I've ever seen do anything good on any of the surface of that. So he's not involved. Zamorano, you know, he's really over 20s, but you know, 35 goal striker is not my bag at all. Takinadi, he's alright, but his average rating season is about 6.58, and he's played about 10 games. He ain't got 20 on him. He's got an half decent right hand column, he's got a few 15s, a couple of 10s, but that's not good enough, especially when we've got actual quality defensive mid. So I've got rid of him. And I think I got rid of one other one, I can't remember who it was. I tried to get rid of Dudek because it's a copyright, but I might have told me I couldn't because I had 3 keepers. And I've got Ruggiero in my reserves. Goalkeeper. He's playing for Hull at the moment in the Swim League, actually.
Right.
And he's keeping the young Andre out of the team. Never signed it, but he's very, very good for Hull in the Swim. So I would have brought him up, but he's unhappy. So he might get a chance next season. I'm going to keep hold of him as a second or third choice and just see how he gets on. What do you make of Ruggiero?
Is Ruggiero not one of those goal-scoring goalkeepers? Takes like penalties and free kicks.
I don't think so. I've never heard of that.
Just,
might be right.
It's similar to like Chilavert and like Anjog Butt and those guys who take penalties. I think Ruggiero might be one of them. I'm just thinking about if we could potentially get our first goal-scoring goalkeeper in the Super League. I know Kieran tried a couple of times last season with. I can't remember who Kieran had in goal, who he put on penalties for a couple of games, I think. I might be wrong, but I think.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I've never had that one. I know Oliver Kahn can take a mean penalty.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact because I had him on pens, so if someone wants to do that, and he should get Oliver Kahn on there.
Bruno, have you never signed Bruno? So Bruno's a young attacking midfielder. He starts at Gremio. 17 or 18. I've only just signed him. I got him for not a lot, just as a bit of cover. He's like in his early 30s now, but very, very good goal scoring central attacking midfielder.
I know him from 3 or 4, I think. I thought it might be a region.
Yeah, is he at Santos on 03 or 4?
No, I think he's Gremio.
Is he still at Gremio?
Yeah. It's Diego that's there.
Oh, Diego, yeah, that's right.
He's also on this game as a 16-year-old, which is nice. He's good. So I'm looking forward to getting started. I quite enjoy that it's a challenge. Because it is a challenge. I quite enjoy that. I'm going to with sort of low expectations just because of the age of the squad. I think the age of the squad is a concern for, obviously it's a short save or whatever, that's not a concern, but the fact that if you want to make any transfers, there's not going to be many people that are interested in the players they've got because of how old they are.
Yeah,
so
I was going to
really shrewd.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that. Obviously, you've mentioned that you're concerned about the age of some of the players, and I was going to come on to sort of transfers and what you might look to do come the end of this season. In a little while, but you sort of
asking as well, Scott. I'm just saying Steve's asking as well. You carry on, Scott.
Yeah, so not obviously there's going to be players that you want to move on. There's going to be players that you're going to want to try and sign. Areas that you're going to want to improve, but is that going to make your transfer business that little bit more difficult, knowing that a lot of the squad and even a lot of the core of the team, if you like, are aging players come season 3 next season, managers might not want to take a risk with.
Yeah, it's going to take some real fine balancing. There's a couple of big names in my squad that are not my type of players, and that I think other clubs will want to take a gamble on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like when I was over at Haggis, and I'm quite whispers with people about who might be available and who are interested in. You've got a lot of people interested in your players over at Haggis because they've got big names, they've got quality in there, but maybe aren't forming.
Yeah.
But Aster, our boys are old now. The next 2 seasons are not going to get better; they're going to get worse. So some of them I'm not sure I'll be able to offload. So I'm going to have to be just like Paddy. I'm going to have to be really careful who I bring in, and have to really do research about the players and stuff like that, and make the right deals with the players that people want. See, I've only got a few that I think people will want, so I'm going to have to do some seriously good business with those. Steve says if I've got any players in other teams that I'd like to get in. I've got a couple that I've got my eye on. Whether I'll be able to get them in is another story, but there are a couple because I'm not going to aim for anybody else who's in the starting position because, like I said, my bargaining tools aren't that great, really.
I think there's definitely a couple of gems in there that people would definitely want to discuss with you, and you may well get a couple of solid 2-for-1 deals, but that would mean sacrificing a couple of better players.
Yeah,
somebody like the one that springs to mind would be Kevin Hoffland. I think there would probably be 10 managers interested in Hoffland if you were to say that he was available. So you're then in a position to say, okay, hit me with your best offer and see what comes back.
Yeah, I'm open to offers on all my players. To be fair, I think every manager probably isn't. There's no one really who's unbelievable. Just has to be the right offer, doesn't it, to improve you rather than make your team worse. Hoffland is one that people would want because I'm assuming people would be interested in it because I certainly would be for another team. But those are the two that they're pretty core, pretty solid to my starting 11. So it'd have to be a very good offer for me to be tempted to get rid of them. Like I say, no one's unattainable in the whole league, I don't think, if you give the right players. So I'm not going to reveal to which players I'm after because I don't think it's very sensible. But I've got my eye on a few players, and it's not really inquiries been made, but I'm keeping an eye on the situation. Let's put it that way.
So you talked about Shearer and Solskjaer and these guys a little bit earlier on. So what are your thoughts on them? And do you think you've got enough firepower within the squad to score your goals to win your games?
Yes, because Solskjaer is injured for a while. He's in the rest. He's injured for a long time.
Right.
A couple of months, I think, maybe. Or, I'm not sure. He's certainly out for a bit anyway. So I don't want to be included in my first team squad. I do think I've got a firepower because Shearer this season has been one of those players that if you funnel absolutely everything through him, he's going to get goals. if you can swing crosses in, if you can, play the through balls and stuff, he's going to get goals. Again, I'm really not for all strikers, but if you look at his record this season, he's been very, very good. So I think he can get goals, and also there's a few other players in the squad that can play up front, and a few other players that have got my eye to have a do up front, and there might be a few surprises with formations and stuff going forward.
So who do you think this regen could be? Because when I first signed him, he had a lot more 20s, and I thought it could have been Roy Keane, but I'm not too sure.
I think it looks like Keane to me, but Flair, bravery, aggression 20's got Keane in it. Let's see, Flair 12.
You have a look.
Yeah, that's Roy Keane, all day long. Roy Keane. Yeah, I think with the players like that, I hope managers do get in touch if they've got somebody available. I don't know how it works being a newbie. It's not an easy thing, just saying I hope people, if managers have got someone available, they don't just, this is me hoping, they don't just do deals with some certain people that are offering that are very loud. I hope that the style of players that they will ask people, "Why are you interested in this guy? What would you offer for him?" sort of thing. Because I want to get involved in the action.
Yeah.
At the buying and the selling. So hopefully, come at me, everyone.
Just for clarity on transfers, you haven't got any deals left this season, so you're sort of planning towards next season now.
Yeah, it's all next season. Yeah, I'm just thinking ahead of it, and it's a difficult one really because I don't know who's going to perform in my squad, and I've not played with someone much before, whether they'll cut it at this level. So I've got to the end of the season to find out. I'm not writing the season off. I think I'm still aiming for top 6, absolutely, but I'm going to have to be a bit more experimental with player choices to give them a go and see if they can, survive the cull in the summer. So, it's a tentative situation when we realise I'm not agreeing to do this, and then if those players have quality last 10 games or whatever, I'll be regretting it. So, just interested to see who else is available around the squads.
Yeah, it's a really interesting situation because obviously you've only got, is it 10 games? We've got 10 games left? 10.
I don't know, that's just a guess.
I think there's about 10. About 10 games left, so you not only, in terms of planning for next season, first and foremost, you've got this season to concentrate on, and obviously Aster are right in the mix in terms of playoff qualification. So,
I'm not one for looking too far ahead. Like I said, I'm going to give everyone a fair crack and just hope I don't miss out on a few deals that I might be interested in. But by giving it sitting back a bit on it. So, Steve says don't ask for that for Expo. Does that mean that he's going to be the main guy still? Does that mean that you flogged him already? I don't know what Steve means by that.
If I was a betting man, I would say not that anybody would do anything in terms of transfer business outside the window, because that would be against the rules, but I would suggest that Crespo's probably been already agreed in a deal.
Interesting.
That's just me speculating and guessing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go for Steve, to be fair, no.
Steve's fucking shite, mate.
He's too old. He's about 28, and ain't too old.
28. I've got Carlos Jacks at like 34, still doing bits. Age is a number, just a number.
Yeah, it is. So yeah,
it's just 15 years in, and Roma are still lingering on the shoulder year in, year out.
Can't see it looking.
No.
It's been a conversation. That means he's off to the Dragons then.
I've played them 22 times. 22 times, we're not even in the same fucking league, what the hell?
Very even as well. Yeah, what do you reckon there, Scott? I would imagine that there's been a deal struck in on the time last night.
What's he said? Has he?
I said there's been a conversation about it.
And in principle, maybe off that means it's done then.
He says he's not going to the Dragons though.
Steve, after the amount of shit you'll get from the Dragons, it's a surprise you even talk to them, never mind go for a beer with them. No, it's been good to see this weekend, actually, with a lot of the guys involved in the league getting together and having a beer and that sort of stuff. It's been good to see.
Yeah, it's been good. Would you believe that the Mega Horse came to the IHS Gardens that just opened? And it's literally 50 yards from the house, and you didn't fucking tell me.
Oh, no way. So, just on Mega Horse, I've noticed that he's going to be in some sort of advisory role with yourself.
Yeah, come in as the assistant. Give him a fancy title.
Wealth of experience and knowledge, I guess, is the key reason.
I keep saying it, I've stuck the record, but if I want to play this game for 1 year against people who've played for 20, or whatever, then I'm going to need someone who knows the database inside now. They know which players are suited best for which position. They know he's managed in the league before, so he's got experience of that. I chat to him most days anyway, and I value his opinion. You know, I've always been someone who said I'll listen to opinions. I've said that, you know, since I've come in as a learner. Said that myself, Scott, and I've always offered opinion and asked for advice where needed. So I'm doing that with Mega Horse, and he's delighted to be involved at the level of assistant because he's got a lot going on elsewhere. So it's perfect for him at the moment.
And you know, I think it's a great move. I think to have somebody like that who's been involved in the league before, and like you say, great knowledge, and obviously he's doing a great job with the Swimp League. Will only benefit Aster and B the league.
Yeah, his classes, like I say, he's chatty, so you don't worry about giving your own opinion, and he'll give his. We can test it as well. I've been testing things in the past together. And if anything needs testing for formation-wise or player-wise, or if we want to run a season just to see, I don't know, let's say for a left back and we're not sure which left wing back to grab, he'd happily run a season. We'd do that on the stream or privately on Skype or whatever together. Just one match, just see how it goes, sort of thing. And he's happy to do that, so. Yeah, I'm really excited to have Minchester involved, yeah.
Very good. So just have, before we move on to talk about your debut, we'll just have 5 minutes to have a look at Blinkhorn's progress and a little bit of a chat about the history of the save, which I have streamed a couple of bits just sporadically here and there when I've not had a great deal else to do, but yeah. No worries, mate.
Steve says, Dan, you got a winning chance to reveal. I was not even that around fixes. I didn't realise it was reveal.
No, I didn't know that. I'm not sure if I even remember that, if I'm honest.
Fucking hell, I was manager of rules.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I do remember now. At the end of the season, yeah. So, in terms of Blinkhorn, we are now 14 goals away.
How's it gone?
It's been really good, actually. I mean, first and foremost, I saw Joe, Mr. Mega Save, do the Cezalco challenge. And then sort of off the back of that, a couple of other people started it with different players, and then you ran it successfully with Kevin Kyle. I think I sort of started this probably as you were midway through or approaching the end of your Kevin Kyle journey. And I just thought I'm going to go and pluck a young kid that I've never heard of before and see if they can do it. And I was pleasantly surprised that it started off like a train and it's just sort of gone on and on and on. There's been a couple of standout seasons where we've gone 80, 83, and then 100. That was really good to see. Apart from that, we've only had one season less than 50. He's slowing down a little bit now. I mean, he's literally not even attempting any tackles. He's not really dribbling. He's just sort of in the right place at the right time now. But yeah,
he got similar stats in his 100 season, if you have a look now. Similar tackling, dribbling, shot as today. So I think Kevin Carroll did that towards the end. He just sort of the last 10 seasons or whatever, he was just doing goal for game, and that's enough, isn't it? Because he gets 60 games a season. So,
yeah, and I don't know if he sort of peaked earlier because he's younger and we're sort of 15 seasons in or whatever, and he's just sort of started to drop off. But I thought we might get sort of between 60 and 70 goals for another 2 or 3 years yet. But anyway, we've got plenty of time. So yeah, initially let's get to 1,000. Let's see how many games it takes. I don't know whether anybody might want to jump on and see if they can find somebody. I would suggest probably other than Sizalco to do it in less games. And then at some point I will come back to it because I'm intrigued to see if I can take Blinkhorn past the total that Palmer got with Sizalco, which was 1,385. I dropped him a message.
I challenged you at the start to do because of his age, Blinkhorn, to get to 1,400. I came up with the number, didn't I?
Yeah,
so that would be, you'd be, if you got that far ever, you would be beating both of our challenges that we've laid out.
So for sure that's something that I will come back to. But to be honest, the last 2 or 3 seasons have felt like a bit of a grind and a bit of a chore. But we're nearly there now. In terms of success, I mean, obviously domestically we've won everything. I think last season was the first time in 15 years that I've lost more than 2 games in a season.
Not scored over 100 as well.
And the first time we didn't score over 100,
This all your players are getting too old, mate, and you're too attached to them.
Well, maybe so. But this season we have only conceded 8 goals in 29, and we could be looking at our first unbeaten season for a while. We did set quite a strong record. We went 169 games with 169 league games without a defeat, I think. I don't know where I'm going to find that. Most games without losing. So it was 169 league games.
Yeah, you'd have to go through the league, wouldn't you? Yeah. Sequences now, records, whatever it is.
There you are. Well, games without losing 169. That spanned like 3.5 seasons. That was ridiculous.
How many wins in a row? 40. Nice.
40 wins in a row, yeah. In terms of other success, I think we've got 3 or maybe 4 Champions Leagues. We've got a World Championship, 3rd place. All our players were like 60% fit. A couple of Intercontinentals, 1, 2, 3, 4 Champions Leagues, a UEFA Cup runners-up, a couple of Super Cups, and then loads of leagues. Other key contributors, we've had Carlos Jacks, who I signed. He's been maybe 10 seasons now, and he's got like 350 goals, nearly 200 assists, absolutely doing bits. Youssef Hersey, again, similar numbers to Jacks, who have just sold. Someone I'm a big fan of, and I know you are as well. We sort of had a bit of a chat before we started. Again, doing similar numbers, literally signed for nothing, and he's got like 279 goals, 200 assists.
Class. Whereabouts are you playing? Attacking left?
So yeah, I have played similar. I've mixed the tactics up, but predominantly throughout the 15 years, I've played Blinkhorn with 3 attacking midfielders behind. Sometimes with wingers, sometimes with narrow. And then in terms of building the squad, a couple of guys who were signed who were young, so Robin and Jackson and those guys who were young when I signed them, and I've kept them, but the rest of the squad is pretty much built up with regens now. I think this guy could be Manu Petit.
Possibly.
This guy, I don't know whether this is.
What about it could be
Zeriberto or Dede or somebody like that.
What about that? Is it Ziv? What's his Zolzin?
Yeah, he's an animal.
He's good, isn't he? Because I saw him in the game. He was doing
He averaged like 7.8 last year playing centre back by himself. Brazilian centre back.
You're never intrigued to find out who they are, because that was kind of fun.
Yeah, but just, do you know what? I have been, but it's just been that much of a grind. I thought, I'm not going to bother.
That's how I kept the interest up for me, to be fair, because I decided tried to fill my team with the regens and work out who they were, so I could have like a world-class team supplying Kevin Kyle up front.
Yeah, I mean,
it did seem to work.
Pretty much what I've done is every time I've needed to replace a player, whether it be someone get too old or someone get unhappy because they're not playing or whatever, I've just gone and signed sort of the best player available in that position.
Yeah. Well, for the season.
There we go.
How many has he got to get? Because I had that really frustrating thing with Kyle, where his 1,000th goal was his 50th of the season.
Really?
So the flash up thing that flashed up
said
wasn't
50.
It's his 1,000th, it was his 50.
No way.
So it'd be really annoying if that happened here as well.
Yeah, it would, yeah. I think we might be approaching single figures soon. So hopefully maybe another.
It should be alright.
Yeah. Not too long. The League Cup final.
Have a look at him again. Have a look. So we've got 2 matches, 41.
So we've got 12 more.
Yeah, he's fine, buzzing. No problem. Yes, he's it's dead because he's doing DML and Roberto's on the DML.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, Steve, he's not defender DML. He's just defender midfielder, so it can't be dead either. I think. Yeah, defender midfielder. So, Steve, if you want to get back onto the research.
To be fair, can I get one more time when you can? I'll just tell you who he is in a minute.
So, what are you using to find out who he is? Like
my spreadsheet, not my spreadsheet. 14 and 9. 12 and 9. Alright, no worries, carry on.
How annoying would it be if Blinkhorn gets injured now? I'd be fuming.
I still have a nice time, mate. Don't worry about
it. Yeah. So back to Aster then and your debut. So before we talk about the game, which is against Haggis, how have things been left between you and Mr. Campbell after you've moved on?
Very good terms, to be fair. Very good. We spoke about it when we found out about Alf. And he said, he doesn't want to lose me. There's always going to be a job for me. And I guess as long as I want it, whether it's manager, caretaker, manager, assistant, whatever. He said as long as you don't have your own team as a place for it, I guess, obviously, which I massively appreciated. But he said if they come along, then go for it. Won't be standing in anybody's way. And I said, that's class. So yeah, very good terms. As much as he has a lot of mouth and he says a lot of swear words, he's a top guy. I'm looking forward to doing battle with him on a regular basis.
Yeah. So see, I've seen that he's lined up very similarly to how you've been lining up over the last couple of weeks. So do you think he's maybe taken a little bit of advice from you? I think for me the biggest thing that he's probably taken is how you've lined up in the recent weeks has meant they've created and scored a lot more goals, which is where they were struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they've scored 8 when I came in, and then after 3 games later, they're on 16. And it's been the chances created as well, which I take pride in. I said the first game against you, I said I just want to create 10 chances or 10 shots on target.
Yeah.
I was watching Haggis before. They were losing 2-1, 1-0, and they got spanked 6, but that was a keeping, shit show. But when they're losing 2-1, 1-0, they never scoring many. They were never massively in the game. It was dull, and Campbell's admitted himself it was boring.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said I wanted to come in. You've got one of the best attacking sort of lineups and defensive mids in the league. So because he did some good transfer work in the summer, he got all the strikers in. I just said let's get them on the pitch. Manchester start creating chances, which even when we lost the Dragons and yourself, we still had either the same amount of shots on target or more in the Dragons game. So I was happy with all 4 performances really, and hopefully he does carry that on because he needs to let the shackles off a bit and just trust in his attacking players a bit more. I think.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're right. I think historically Ian's been somebody who does try and like to build his team around a strong base and strong defence. But I think there must come a time where, actually, hang on a minute, we're not keeping clean sheets here, which means we need to score more goals.
exactly. He always had 4 or 5 in defensive mid, and I know four's very strong defensive mid, but he always had big arrows on him. He's a fan of really long arrows, or different length arrows, and it just wasn't really doing the business for him. He sort of changing, playing with the arrows and the defensive mids every week, and it wasn't creating enough chances, and he knew that. He was getting frustrated with it himself, which is probably why he asked me to take over and give him a breather for a bit. But I think he'll do well. I think he might even push on towards the playoffs, because that is what we were aiming for. When I was in charge, I was chatting with him about it. They're not a million miles away, but a few wins in that on Spain, they could break in the playoffs in the back door. But
to be honest, I'm not sure that there's really anybody could adrift the league. Last season was incredibly tight, and it went down to like the last game, as it has the last couple of seasons. And I think this season, to be honest, it's probably even tighter.
Because last season I was talking about how it was the tightest one for years, and it was. But even when you look at, there's a game between Churchtown and ourselves, who were both bottom of the league, but whoever won put themselves 8 points behind the playoffs with about 10 games to go, which is probably unheard of. Really, that all 14 teams could be in with a shout with 10 games to go. So before the Dragons game, they were very much in the hunt, but that loss set them back a bit. But I think they're a good side. So I absolutely knew what they'd play. I knew that I expected them to play that team. Like I said on Twitter, I practice against that side, that setup. But I didn't think he'd go for seeing it up front, because he doesn't particularly like him, and he's a big Salas fan. But then it seems to have changed his mind later in the evening, and I'm pretty certain Salas is going to play now.
Right, be interesting. I don't think. I mean, I think if he's posted his team, I don't think he'll change it. He might do. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Just a quick one from Steve. What do we think about Bowyer playing right wing back? Steve's a lot of shit, mate. He's probably top 2 or 3 centre midfield on the game. Sort your fucking self out.
Yeah, awful, Steve. If you're playing Van der Vaart and is it Alex? So I'm quite a good fan of Alex. In off form, Alex and Van der Vaart is also fairly off form, and you've got Bowyer at right wing back.
You're playing 2 centre midfielders, Steve. It needs to be Alex and Bowyer, in my opinion. That's what.
Neither of them are Bowyer. That's terrible, Steve. Unfortunately, I'd rather put an FRC at right wing back than Bowyer. If I'm being honest, mate, that's just me. I'd be putting FRC there. I'd be putting a winger there. I'd be putting, I don't know. I don't know who you've got, Steve, but not Lee Bowyer, unfortunately, mate.
Agreed.
I'd put Bambi there over Bowyer, mate. Yeah. If it means putting Bowyer at centre mid, I'd be putting Bambi there, and giving him a decent sized arrow so he can play like a winger. But I'll certainly write instructions for him to play like a winger. But I mean, do you not get anyone else, Steve? Is it just Finnan? That's all you've got? Because you obviously set your team up to play with wing backs, like most of the people in the league, I think. So you must have more cover than that, Steve. Just waiting for you to reply in the chat, obviously. You must have more cover than just Finnan.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, for me, Bowyer, if you're going to play Bowyer and you want him to deliver the numbers and the performances capable of delivering, it has to be centre midfield.
Yeah, I think someone was talking about managing England in World Cups on Twitter.
Right.
I can't remember who it was. He'd done something like he replayed. It was recent this week, and Steve was interacting with him about 10 World Cups just in a row. And he played Bowyer defensive mid in every single one, or whatever DMI, every single one he got in the best player in the world, David.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're playing against the AI, you're playing a home save with Bowyer. DMR is probably going to average 8, but you could probably put anybody there. You know, I could put Jax there and he'd average 8 and get 30 assists or whatever. I think when you're playing, do you know what I mean? If push comes to shove, and the level that we're playing at.
Same as that one asset. I mean, he's a right back, Steve. So, I mean, I just obviously it's easy to stand back and say this. Look, it's what's the important decisions. But if you've only got Finnan and your backup is Bowyer and Bambi, then you'd be bringing in a DMR from the Reds. It's just to sit in case of anything. So He says he's gone with both because of. I think it was David done it. What up, yo? Played boy at right wing back, so Steve's gone with it. Off the back of that, I think.
Well,
Which is bold to say.
Let's see how it pans out. But yeah, in terms of our opinion, Steve, we think it's a lot of shit. But I hope it works out for you.
I hope it does as well, Steve. To be honest, but I can't see it happening, unfortunately.
So, just going back to the game with Ian, how do you think it's going to pan out?
Oh, well.
So is it in Edinburgh?
Yes.
So I think am I right in thinking you've named your 11 players, but you've not?
Yes.
Talked or revealed any tactics?
I've not revealed the tactics now. How do I think it's going to go? Well, I would suggest not well. I would suggest not well only because I picked the other formation and I picked the other team. I know how good they are, I know how strong it is, I know how well they've been playing in all 4 games that they've played that formation and those players.
But on the flip side of that, you've been involved with Haggis all season. You've been looking and I guess assessing the performances, and you know how they've been beaten. So do you think you maybe have a little bit more of an advantage over Ian than the rest?
Yeah, probably. Yes, I've been watching closely and picking up the areas of where they failed. Yeah, I'm hoping that some of those creep in because, I don't know, Ian doesn't have that particular tactics file that I've been using the last three or 4 games. Well, I'm not including your game, obviously, but saying some of the tactics I've been putting out, he doesn't have the actual file, so his instructions will be different. So obviously, I'm just going to hope that the differences in the team instructions mean that I've got a bit more of a chance than I would imagine. I mean, I've got some good players like it, and it's not absolute. I mean, I'm higher league than him. I can see all that. I'm not daft and stuff, but I'm fairly worried because of how well I think they've been playing for the last 3 games. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. I'm happy with what I've got out. It should be interesting.
One thing that some of the previous managers in the Super League have not managed to do is get the best out of Nedved. How are you going to do that?
By selling him in the summer.
let him be somebody else's problem.
Yeah, he'll get a go. He'll get a go. But he's one of those players that you never really certain on what his proper position is. Winger, attacking left, is he centre mid? And obviously I know Mr. Megros knows the precise figures for where he actually plays and stuff, but he goes into that category of players that it was class in real life, has a shed load of 20s on the game, doesn't actually perform as well as he should, for me anyway, but I'm going to give it to the end of the season. I ain't saying he's being sold in the summer just yet. If he performs, then obviously he's sticking around. So, he gets a run of games. I'll try him in a few different positions if I need to, give him a fair crack at the whip. And if not, he's on his way.
Fair enough. I guess he will be one of those sort of bargaining tools that you've got in the summer.
Yeah, because it's that big name. People will be, watching him scream at the screen, telling me I'm playing in the wrong position, or I shouldn't be doing that, or put in this place, put in this place. So, you might be one that's that big name. Yeah, it could be available if he doesn't perform. I think we'll swing a bit of a surprise, I think, in the game tomorrow. I think. I'm sure people will be expecting a local game, they'll be expecting what's coming tomorrow.
Interesting. Well, I, for one, am intrigued to see how it pans out.
Not saying it'll be successful. But, my squad would find it hard to beat that formation of those players that he's put out. It's very, very hard to beat it. So.
And then, with 10 games to go, how would you summarise where the league, the situation with the league is at, the league table, and who's impressed you? Who do you think potentially has underachieved, and who do you expect to be a dark horse to go on a run throughout the rest of the season?
I think he's impressed. I would say the obvious answer is Greasy, because I don't want to sign any of his players, but he's still buying people every week. Mm-hmm. He's still near the top of the league. Northern Burn have been very, very good. I'm a huge fan of their entire squad. I said that at the start of the season, so the transfers he made were class, so if he's not performing well, then he's done something very, very wrong, because his transfer business was brilliant. I mean, who's underachieved? Maybe Jens.
Aside from Haggis?
Aside from Haggis, yeah. Yeah, aside from Haggis. I'd say maybe Jens. And yeah, probably admits that he has as well, just because he's got Van Nistelrooy, Nicky Franco. He actually got Schalke as well at one point this season.
Yeah, Sizalco went to Northern Burn.
Yeah, but I'm sure he had him for a while. And it's looking at his centre mid today. He's got Van Bommel, Liverani, and Dye. I mean, that's very, very good. It's I would imagine he'd want to be higher up. But the rest of them, I think, probably deserve to be down there. If I'm honest, I don't. I know deserves people. I mean, obviously, Fulchester would expect to be higher as well. I would imagine because of the quality of the managers and the way their squad is set up. But it's a tight league, and those sorts of teams could finish top 6. So you could be sitting there saying underachieving, but at the end of the season, they're still at the shout, and they should, they could be finishing higher, maybe overachieving. Alf probably overachieved massively, I'd say, to still be in the hunt. I think I and everybody else thought that the Aster squad had finished dead last, but he's proved that these players can hit fine form. These players do have a position in the league and on the pitch. And it's challenged up to me to continue that as best as I can, really, because he's set a very high bar this season now with these players. So those ones, I imagine.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think a lot of the managers, myself included, were quite vocal in that. I think especially last season, Aster probably had on paper the weakest squad. Now I know, a lot of that was down to the draft. I mean, Alf did some business and brought in some of his more experienced players that he likes to use. But I think, the verdict was that the Aster squad was probably in at least the top 2 of the weakest squads within the league. So, you sort of alluded to earlier on that the business at the start of this season was quite shrewd and made a couple of good signings.
It's rescued him a bit. He obviously sold all his wide men, but I think it did rescue his squad somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, Alf historically has always been a fan of a narrow formation. This season, quite strangely, he's sort of moved on some of his wide players, had some in his reserves, and then sort of played wide. We've had situations with like Matty Holland playing right midfield, and then I think Nedved had a spell out on the right with Danielson on the left. And then you sort of touched on earlier, you've got Simon Davis in the reserves now. I'm not saying he's going to come in and get 20 assists a season, but did a solid job sort of previously.
If you'd have played him from the start, it's one of those that if you play him, you develop, and he might be quite competent within in and around the squad in that right wing position. After 10 or 15 games or so, definitely. He's solid enough, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he has been brought in to try and do that because we're just crying out for a bit of width. So that'll be an area we're going to address in the summer, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
If the right players come available, if not, then we can work with it. It's not a problem.
Yeah. I think we're going to be approaching the stage of the season in maybe the next 3 or 4 weeks where the table starts to take a little bit of shape. Teams potentially ruling themselves out, or maybe not 100% ruling themselves out, but teams thinking they've got an outside chance if they go on an exceptional run. But teams will start planning for next season rather soon, I would imagine.
Yeah, because it's like I say, it is a funny sort of balancing act at the moment because everyone's still involved and there are clearly amicable conversations in the back scenes about transfers and plans for next season, but everyone doesn't quite know where the squad's going to be for next season because they're still in with a hunt. Anyone could actually win the whole thing, and then you don't want to be making as many transfers and whatnot. So, yeah, interesting to see where it goes in the next few weeks.
And what's the chances of you leaning on your strong relationship with Ian in terms of discussing transfers?
Well, I mean, I've got friendships with a few of the managers. Ian's got a few players that I quite rate and he doesn't particularly rate. That doesn't mean he's going to let them go. If I don't know, if he thinks, because he's been telling me that he's sort of got a bit of a new zest or a bit of a new outlook on some of the players, so he might, suddenly start to really enjoy them if they perform after throw him at the deep end. So we'll see. If he wants to do any business, he said, he said, always welcome to do business. If it's right for him. So yeah, we'll have a chat, mate. We'll have a chat.
Interesting. I think so. Obviously, we've all got work to do in terms of focusing on this season, and like we sort of touched on, most of the guys have still got plenty to play for. This is a good game for Mr. Blinkhorn. I'm going to bring him off actually just to make sure he's fit. I can't remember where I was going with that, to be honest.
So you've all got a lot to think about. There we go.
Let's have a look. We must be near the end. 3 goals away, guys. So hopefully we are only a game or 2 away from the big 1,000.
Do you think there's any possibility there's somewhat of players from outside the league coming in, or is that not something that happens in Super League?
It certainly has happened in previous seasons, in previous saves, so before sort of last season. So when I took over Chudley Cannons sort of 2 and a bit years ago, or seasons ago if you like, I came in and it was sort of towards the end of the transfer window, or if you like, or there wasn't so much a transfer window, but a lot of the business had been done. And then I obviously had transfers left. So I went outside of the league to bring players in. So that's when I first introduced Andre to the Super League, who has obviously been exceptional for Bostock, and as he was for Chudley as well. I brought in Carlos Jacks, who was a relative success. I also brought in Lee Chun Soo. So some of these guys who have been drafted in the league this time round weren't in it last time. So I think because the teams have got bigger squads this time with the access to reserves and that sort of thing, I think the outside transfers was sort of put on hold with a view to it happening in the coming seasons as players retire and get old and whatever.
Can you get one outside player for every player that retires?
So at the minute there is no ruling on outside of the league transfers. I believe it is being discussed by the powers that be, Martin and Ryan, etc. So whether that's something that is introduced next season or it's held off for the season after, I'm not too sure. But yes, at some point I imagine it will happen.
I would very much be pushing. Oh, do you want to slow it down? I'd very much be pushing for every time a player retires, get someone else in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would hurt me the most or benefit me the most.
So here we go. We are 1 goal away from 1,000 for Matty Blinkhorn. Do you know what? I've actually tried to follow Matty Blinkhorn on Twitter and get him involved in this. I was going to drop him a cheeky message and see if he wanted to come on a stream, but he's got like a private account, and I followed him, but he won't follow me back, so I can't send him a message.
Gutted. Not like Kevin Kyle.
I know.
Loved it, didn't he?
Yeah, as soon as Kyle jumped onto your stream, your Twitter feed, I thought, right, I'm all over this. And yeah, So next up we've got Hibs in the Scottish Cup semi-final. Matty Blinkhorn is on 999 career goals. And he's actually... He's
Class is starting to pick up a bit of steam, isn't
he is. He's in need of a rest. He's not going to get one. We'll have to just get on with it.
Yeah, conditions are myth anyway.
Conditions are myth.
Certainly is, mate. Just see Rosicky start against the Dragons and Stan.
Yeah.
Both 85%. Yeah. They finished higher than most of the other players who started. Just a bit of knowledge for you.
So what have you done with your bank holiday Sunday today?
I've done very little, if I'm honest. I've been with the younger of my children, who is one, the little one who's on all the singing videos.
All right, okay. Now banned.
Now banned from the singing videos, yeah. I've been with her while the eldest has been out and about with the missus, and she went to work with the wife, so...
Right.
Yeah, chilling with the children, and a bit of a roast dinner.
Very good. Nice.
How about yourself? Anything good?
I went to watch a couple of friends play some Sunday League football this morning.
Nice.
With my eldest child and my brother and my nephew. And then we went to McDonald's for lunch. And then what did we do? Then I came home for half an hour, a little bit of a chill, and then me and my eldest lad and a couple of friends went to the park for a game of cricket.
Oh, that's very busy.
So yeah, been decorating sort of Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I've got a new sofa coming Tuesday, so we've gone from sort of a new sofa coming to painting, decorating, new curtains, new units, and all that sort of stuff. Busy back to work. So here we go, Scottish Cup semi-final against Hibs. Can Matty Blinkhorn get to 1,000? Now, over the last season or two, he has actually been on goal droughts of up to 8 games. He does sort of come out of the back of them and... and then he'll sort of score sort of 9 goals in 2 games after that.
For people watching to see history being made.
I mean, I'm not too sure how much... Go on. I'm not too sure how much history it is. It's definitely been done before.
1,000 before 31 is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, in terms of age, it might be a record. In terms of... I guess people have definitely done Sizalco in less games.
Quicker. Yeah, definitely.
Here we are. Here we go. Ooh.
Give us a shout if you are in the chat. I know I'm one of the 4 viewers, and you might be the other one, Scott.
I am, yeah. So probably me and Steve.
One other person lurking in the background. Give us a shout in the chat if you're here.
Here we go. Finish.
Unless Steve's on his phone and his TV at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's it then, isn't it?
But yes. No, it's been good. Like I said, the last couple of seasons has been a bit of a grind because I just wanted to get it over the line. But before that, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for something new now. A new save, a new project.
I had that new save for ages, actually.
No, and actually, this is the first time that I've run a save for 15 years for a long time. Normally, don't go over 10 years, to be honest. Here we go.
Give it back to her. Come on, get it.
Greedy bastards.
Maybe me and you should do an Africa save or something.
Can you imagine putting a full squad together of African players? How much fun would that be?
Maybe start an Italian league.
Yeah, there's no work permutations in the Italian league.
We're down to 3. We're down to 3. Steve's turned his TV off.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I could write a song about it.
Yeah.
Any famous song about Africa?
Imagine if there was a song called Africa.
That'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, If I have one random viewer that's not me and you is not Steve, they're probably thinking, what the fuck are these idiots talking about?
Come on.
I hope we don't have to play like 6 games on slow.
I had to do that. I had to do that with Kyle.
How many games did it take? Kyle, do you know?
Oh, I can't remember now.
Did you stop at 1,000 or?
No, I carried on. I think I got into the end of the season and he went up to 1,004.
Right.
And I thought he was going to retire, so that was it. But then he stayed on. The game to stay was still like up and running. I've still got 8 months or so to play, but he's very, very old. Oh.
Yeah, how old is he? Do you know how old he is?
36.
So if we say, let's say Blinkhorn played on till he was 36, 50 goals a year, that's 300.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'd be looking at probably 70, between 60 and 70 goals a season needed. That's if he plays to 36. Which
Kyle carried on doing that. He continued to score at the same rate of 1 per game, and just over 1 per game. So by the looks of it, Blinkhorn's a similar sort of goals record, so I think he'd probably do the same.
Yeah.
As long as you keep the players behind him.
So next up, we've got Dumbarton at home. That's absolutely got to be nailed on. Surely.
Gotta be. But yeah, I assume Kyle was retiring at the end of that season. And I think he went for 9 or 10 games in the last season without scoring his 1,000th. He was stuck on 999 and I had to watch 10 slow games like you're doing.
Yeah.
Without scoring. Then he finally did, and it came up 50th goal of the season.
Oh, fuming. That'd have been absolutely lovely.
Absolutely raging.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is hopefully we'll get it over the line in the next 5 minutes. And then at some point, either tonight or probably tomorrow, because I'm working early in the morning, I'll take some screenshots and update the thread and summarise his career and our achievements, and then I'll park it for a while. Maybe try something new, maybe get a new save running, or maybe see if I can even, I've got a little bit of an appetite for a stream as well, if I'm honest. So I might see if there's anybody who might want to get involved in a project. I appreciate lots of people are very busy at the moment, and we've got Swemp and Super League and all that sort of stuff, so time is tight and precious. But if not...
Swemp. You interested in Swemp, are you?
Go on. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
1,000 goals for Matty Blinkhorn, a young 15-year-old kid from Blackpool who Steve Wright signed forever. I've never heard of him. He's got 1,000 goals in less than 800 games.
Yes.
What an achievement. And what a moment for you to share, and what a guy to share it with. I wouldn't want anybody else here, Tato, sharing this moment.
Yes, mate, appreciate that. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honour to be here sharing this moment. Look at that on the screen. I missed out on that with my save. I did not get that save, that shot on mine at all.
We've gone up to 5 viewers, so somebody's joined us just at the right time. Matty Blinkhorn, a young kid from Blackpool, has scored 1,000 career goals for Celtic.
Get in there.
What a boy.
Brilliant.
Imagine if this gets disallowed. There we go. What an achievement. And he's got 1,001.
Killing it. What brilliant. What an absolute achievement that is.
Delighted.
And that sets not necessarily the record, but that sets the target for anybody else trying to get that high with anybody. Not Shigalko. He's not allowed. That's not allowed.
So
what's the record set, mate?
The record set for the least games to 1,000 goals, 794.
And Maxim is not allowed. That is not.
No Maxim. Go and choose somebody else. Choose a league, choose a club, and see how quickly you can score 1,000 goals with one player. Fantastic.
Very, very good, mate. Now we can have a rest.
Now we can have a rest. So
asking you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, like I said, I am now going to park this save.
Definitely.
I will come back to it. And I think I'm also going to wrap up the stream.
Yeah,
so thank you very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to have you witness history. It's also been a pleasure to chat about your Super League entrance, and I wish you all the best in your debut tomorrow.
Thank you for having me in the league, the stream, and to the chat, mate. Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
I've been in and out of the chat. Apologies if the audio has not been brilliant on Tato's part, but it's definitely nothing to do with me. And maybe once we get a bit further down the line and we come back to this stream, we go for the record of 1,385 goals that Maxim got with Joe Palmer at Paris, we might pick up another stream. But for now, that is all from my Blinkhorn. Thank you. That is all from me and Tato this evening. And join us tomorrow at 9 o'clock for some Super League action. Good night, everyone.
Yes, sir.